सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जीओ। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप। आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच। उत्तम आग बिखै जरनो जिम जाए मरे जग माहे पतंगा। उत्तम या तन फोड़ मरे गिर के भव मैं नर सैल उतंगा। उत्तम आग बिखै जरनो। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Today we'll be recording so year 67 to 72. Kaviji starts off by saying he's talking about good qualities and how important they are. So he starts off by saying Uttam Aag Bikhe Jarno, that it is best, it is better to burn yourself in fire, just like Jim Jai Mare Jag Mahe Patanga, just like a moth when it gets attracted by light or fire, it goes and kills itself in that fire. So rather than abandoning your good qualities, it's better to go and burn yourself in fire. Uttam ya tana phod mare, it is better yet to go and break your body. Gir ke bhav mein nar sail utanga, by climbing a very high mountain and then falling off from it. So in this world, rather than you abandon your good qualities like truth and contentment and compassion and mercy, it is better yet to go and kill yourself or to go and fall off a very high mountain. That's how important good qualities are. And we'll discuss in a second why that is so. Uttam hai pav mahe mare, it is better in this world to die. Kar dar mukhantar bhim pujanga, by putting your hand in mukhantar, meaning inside the mouth of a beam, a dangerous pujanga, a snake. So it is better to die in this world by putting your hand in the mouth of a snake. Jivat nahe kare kab hi gun uttam ke ban ko nar panga. So while you're alive, one thing that you should not do is gun uttam, the good qualities, the best qualities that you have, the garden of those good qualities, that you should not destroy that garden. So we should always try to, if we're getting angry, to keep our peace, to keep our calm, our composure. Just like Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib says, Vin gun kite bhagat na hoye, because good qualities, they lead to bhakti, they lead to devotion, they lead to self-realization. And how is that? Because as we know that there's the three qualities, the three gun, the Rajo, Tamo and Sato. When we're living in Tamogun, which contains laziness and anger, fear, ignorance, and attachment, qualities like that, we are away from realizing the truth, realizing the Brahma, because let's say, suppose we're getting angry at somebody. In that anger, we forget that the person who's making us angry is actually God, because it's the whole play of God. And we enter duality. When we're in duality, self-realization and the realization of God cannot occur. Similarly, when we are living in Rajogun, Rajo is signified by movement, by achievements, chasing desires, things like pride and ambition, wanting to do something in life, and competition, wanting to be better than something or somebody. Living in this quality of life, we are also away from self-realization, because we are still chasing things of the world. So we're still not close to self-realization, but then living in Satoguna, which is qualities like knowledge and truth and contentment and compassion and forgiveness, all of these qualities, they slowly shed our ego because these all lead to inner peace. So, for example, if I was to choose forgiveness for somebody who's hurt me, it's because I am trying to see that that person who has done me wrong is also God, because this is a play that's staged by him. And hence, I'm trying to then get rid of my own ego, seeing that, asking questions like, who is it who's hurt me, and who is the one who's gotten hurt? Because I don't exist, and hence I cannot get hurt. So when all so Satogun, it leads to a self-inquiry, hence leading to self-realization. So the example that I've written here is somebody has said something that is making me angry. And so the steps that we would take is, you'll recognize the divine in them. You'll recognize the Karta Purkh, the one, the doer in them, because we know Karta Purkh is just one. He's God. We're not the Karta Purkh. Like Krishnji Maharaj, he told Arjun this in the battlefield to give up his sense of doer, because God is the only doer, right? Or so I understand. And so by recognizing that the doer is actually God himself, we stick to speaking sweetly and not let anger boil within ourselves and take away our peace. And hence we stay peaceful and in remembrance, which helps us to stay detached and remember what we're trying to achieve and our path to God. Kaviji then goes on to say, Gun marg sude chalo, khal ninda dar dar. Gun marg sude chalo, that we should walk straight on the path of good characteristics and good qualities, hence avoiding forsaking our qualities. Khal ninda dar dar, that we should throw away this fear that we have of getting slandered by fools. Kaviji will explain this in the next pankti. Vid khal kach aise rache, that Vidata, the creator, he's created some fools like this who gun ko dokh uchar, that they consider, that they say that the gun, that the virtues that somebody has, that even those are false. So we need to realize within ourselves that no matter what we do, even if we're walking on a straight path and we have all these qualities, people are always going to find faults within us, that nobody is going to be happy with you. Even if there are only a certain number of people who can love you and be happy with you, but you cannot please the whole world. And hence there are, Kabiji is saying that the creator has created such fools that they're going to find faults within you for everything, even if you have good qualities. So you need to throw away the fear that you have that people are going to not like you. Savaya sev karo to kahe kach chahat. Kabiji is explaining this whole concept more. He's saying that if I was to say that I should have good qualities within me, and hence if I was to go and serve somebody, that the person would say, Kahe kach chahat, that this person, he wants something from me, and that's why he's serving me. Even if you're serving that person, just thinking that, oh, this person is also God, and hence I should be serving everybody. But people are going to think what they're going to think. They're just going to think that you need something from them, and that's why you're serving them. Nahe karo to kahe titkai. And then Kaviji is saying, now, if I was to not serve them, if I was to not do that, then they would say that, oh, this person is so stubborn, he doesn't know anything, he doesn't serve anybody. So people are not going to be happy, either this way or that. Je pad bandhan jaye karo. Now, if I was to go and then touch somebody's feet out of respect for them, तो कहे हमते उर माहे डराई, then then the people would say that, oh, I have a fear in my heart, that I fear them in my heart, and that's why I'm being so nice that I'm touching their feet, asking for their blessings and this and that. नाहे करो तो कहे यह मूर्ख. Now, if I was to then think, oh, that they're gonna think that I fear them and that's why I'm touching their feet, so I would say, oh no, then I shouldn't do it. So I would not go and touch their feet. Then they would say, oh, yeh murak, that this person, he's an idiot, he's a fool. Brid, a brid ki sar na kai. Brid meaning somebody who's elder than you, and a brid somebody who's younger than you. Then that person will say, oh, this person doesn't know if there's somebody who's older than them, that they don't know that they should be respecting them, or they don't know how to treat the elder or the people who are younger than them, that they're such idiots, they don't know anything. So in this way, there's this shabd written here that it's mentioned here in this tika that's from Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the Pai Banno Wali Beer. But if we go to the original Bhavarsamrit by Sant Baba Hari Singh Ji, is written here that it's mentioned in Sri Guru Nanak Prakash, and the shabd goes that is kaliyon panj pityon kyo kar rakha pat. So I'll just read the translation, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is saying that in this age of Kali Yuga, that there are 5 types of fears, and the person thinks to themselves that how can they save their dignity. Je bolla ta aakhiye bad bad kare bahut. That Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that if a person he was to speak, then the people would say that this person talks too much. Chup karan ta aakhiye it kat nahi mat. And then if I was to not say anything, then the people would say that this person has no intellect, that this person is a fool. And then he goes on to say, Je beh raha ta aakhiye baitha sattar kat. So if let's suppose a sadhu or a renunciate, and then if that renunciate was to claim one corner somewhere and then just sit in one place, then people will say that, oh, the sadhu, he just claimed this place all to himself, and he's just sitting down here, he's not doing anything, he's no good. And then, but if that sadhu was now to up and leave everything and then renounce everything and leave, then the people will say that this person, he's applied ashes to his forehead and now he's like left everything. What wasn't like, people would say things like, oh, you could have just sat down here and then people would have given you food or whatever you needed anyway. What was the need for you to go and like leave everything? And then he says, Je karne vanta akhiye darda kare bhagat. And now if a person was to be very kind and lowly in his manners, that he doesn't speak rudely to anybody, he speaks very softly and all of those things, then people will say, oh, this person is very fearful, and that's why he's doing bhakti, that's why he's being devotional, because he's fearful. So in this way, Maharaj says, Kai gali na mevani kithe kada chat ethe othe nanka karta rakhe paat. That in this world and in the world afterwards, only God can save our dignity, because people, no matter what we do, whether we do this thing or that, people are always going to have problems with that. So now Kabiji is teaching us here that keep your good qualities intact and never let go of them, so that we hold on to that peace. But then in doing that, do not fear the people of this world, because they're not going to let you live either this way or that. Kavi ji says, Janat hai janakatam japat, और कहो अब काहे सुनाई. Janat hai. So he knows. Who knows? Janak Atmaja Pat. Janak meaning Raja Janak. Atmaja meaning his daughter, which was Sita ji. And then Pat meaning Pati, husband. So the daughter of Sita ji, who is Sri Ramchandra ji Maharaj, Kavi ji saying that he knows everything already. I don't need to tell him anything. He's Antarjami. He's the knower of my heart. और कहो अब काहे सुनाई. Then why should I go and tell somebody else of the things of my heart when Sri Ramchandra ji Maharaj, God, already knows. And he's saying that Sri Ramchandra ji Maharaj, you save me. You can only save me, because I don't need to go and tell anybody else anything. सवैया जब लाज जहाज कहे जड़ता, जब लाज जहाज कहे जड़ता. That if a person was to keep this sort of dignity in them, where they keep shame, they don't go around being, what's the right word? So they have this sense of shame within them. They don't go and show themselves off, or they keep this righteousness behavior. Then people will say that they're jarta, they're fool, they're old-fashioned. So if let's say if a woman was to dress properly, dress modestly, then the people of this world will say, oh, she's so old-fashioned. She doesn't know what's up with this world. She doesn't know how to do fashion, right? But then Kabiji says, Vrat taran te khal damb uchare. But then the person, if they were to keep a brat, a fast, meaning discipline, a certain type of discipline, if they were to keep that, then people will say, Khal damb uchare. Then people will call them idiots. And then people will call them show-offs, that they are just they're just doing this to show others that they don't actually believe in these things. Ran sur ko krur kahe jag mein. Then if there was a very brave warrior in the battlefield, people will say, oh, this person is so cold-hearted, so hard-hearted. How can they do this? How can they kill so many people and this and that? Rij paaveh buddh bihin pukare. And then if there's a simple-minded person in this world, people will call them without intellect. People will call them fools, that they lack the intellect that's necessary. Mad benan deen kahe narko. Now, if a person out of respect was to speak very sweetly, people will call him poor or penniless. Like people will say that this person, because he doesn't have anything, that's why he's speaking so softly, so sweetly. Jo bakhan kare so vachal bichare. But then a person was to actually go on and talk, then the people will consider him to be very talkative, that oh, he talks too much. I can't bear this. They'll talk things like that. Gun kaun ahe gunvanan ko. Kaviji saying, what are those qualities of the virtuous people where khal dokhan te joy nahe latare? What are those qualities of the virtuous people that the people have not torn apart? The fools of this world, that they've not torn them apart, calling them all those qualities false. So Gaviji is saying that you can have all these good characteristics, you can have all the good qualities, but there are going to be fools in this world that they're going to tear apart those qualities and call them your faults. So they're always going to find something wrong with them. Dohara jag rachna adapot rachi Brahma Mayaka hai. That Brahma ji, the creator of this world, he has, with deception, created such a adaput, like a wondrous, like a strange kind of creation. He's Keh amrit, keh bikhamai, that somewhere it seems like amrit, somewhere it's sweet like nectar, but then somewhere it's a bikhamai, it seems like poison. Nirnoho vatanahe, I cannot really decide, I cannot make up my mind whether to call this world sweet or whether to call it poisonous, because there's good and bad everywhere. Savaya keh beenan tal mridangan ki ton, that somewhere there's sounds of flute and drums coming. Gavat hai man mod badai, that people, if we see people singing and their happiness is increasing. So when we see things like the occasions of a wedding, people are so happy, they're singing, they're dancing, they're listening to music. But then keh rovat hai nar nar maha, somewhere there are men and women and they're crying, they are suffering. And tar later the hai or main dukh pai, that they're laying on the floor crying and suffering, and then they have so much sorrow in their heart. So if we see a child being born, and when the child is born, their parents, the family, everyone, they're so happy, and there's music and party and dance everywhere. But then if we were to see the child dying, then everyone would be sorrowful, everyone would be crying. So there's amrit, there's nectar and there's poison, there's happiness and there's sorrow everywhere. That's why Kamviji is saying, I can't decide this creation that Brahma has created. I do not know whether to call it good or bad. Keh chandan neer gulab ka sai. Somewhere there are people who are grinding sandalwood and then they're putting it in with the rose petals, and then they're making fragrances like that. So sandoor hai ki sir maang banai, and then people are making this red vermilion, this red powder that the married woman in India, they put it in the parting of their hair in the middle, which signifies that they are now married. So somewhere people are happy like that. They're putting fragrances on their body. They're putting all these ornaments on them. Keh haathan te so upar sirore. But then there are some places where there are people who are where the people are suffering, where the same hair on their heads that they were putting the sindoor, the red vermilion in their hair, the same hair are being plucked out, or the same hair they're being destroyed by mang jahan teh pomrolai, where that mang, where the hair parting was, where they were putting the powder, is now being pushed into the dirt, is being the dirt is being poured in that. So the example that there's this Pankti by from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj written here. It said, "Jin sir sohan pattiyan mangi pai sandoor, se sir kati munniyan gal vich aave toor, mehla andar hondiyan hun behn na milna hadur." So those glorious Pathan women requested that the red vermilion was placed within the parting of the hair. In order to take the garlands of precious stones and pearls from them, their heads were shaved with scissors. Then dirt was poured upon their head. So prior to this, they would reside within their houses like rulers, but now the husbands are unable to sit close to their wives. So the same husbands who were able to protect their wives, now they cannot. So Kaviji has given us all these examples of saying, basically, somewhere there's sorrow and somewhere there's happiness. So we can't really decide whether this place is good or bad. We will finish up here today. We'll hope to Maharaj Kirpa Karan record the next class soon. We'll finish with the last two panktiyan. कह चंदन नीर गुलाब कसै, सो संधूरै के सिर मांग बनाई। कह हाथन से सो उपार सिरोर है, मांग जहाँ तह भूम रुलाई। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।